Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to WKNI. Good news for Covington County, and boy, I enjoy this gentleman coming on. Every time he comes on, we have fun. We get information out there and just talk about some great things. And very cultured individual, very, how do you call it? I don't want to say he's smarter than the top of the class kind of guy, but he's good. And I want to welcome Dr. Riedel, the president of LBW Community College on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your kind words, Eddie. It's always a pleasure to be visiting with you, and congratulations on this great studio. It's very beautiful. What you've done is really nice.
Well, God had a lot to do with that. Teresa had a lot to do with it too. So, but it's wonderful here. We love it. Thank you very much. A lot of effort went into this. 10 years to get here. And,
that is great.
So we're here now on the square. But what's neat is I get people like you in here, and that makes it all much better.
Well,
and
thank you.
So much going on. I know we're going to talk about the quintet and what's coming up this weekend coming up. And I get excited that we're going to talk about the society, the Chamber Music Society, because y'all put one off here not long ago. That's with right. The harp and the what was
flute
it called?
And viola.
The flute and viola, but it was I was corrected. It's a flute.
A flautist.
Flautist. That's it.
Either way is fine. Flutist or flautist.
Well, no, not when you're talking to another flautist. I got corrected on that. We had a group here the other day live. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but it was Harpeth Rising, okay. And they were a folk bluegrass group out of Nashville. And they had the banjo, they had the viola, okay, they had the cello and drums. And it was a very unique combination of instruments that was out there, and they had a great music that they provided. But let's talk about LBW. We got to talk about the mainstream here. How's it going out there?
Well, it's been going great. We really have a good semester, a good start to the year. Our enrollment numbers are a little down. They're down across the state and in the country, but that fluctuates. But we have some new things this fall, especially here on the Andalusia campus, because this is the first time ever that LBW has had housing for students.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
We now have 65 students living at Saints Hall. And if you hadn't been out to our campus recently, they're beautiful buildings. It took exactly 6 months to construct, which I think is amazing considering all the rain we've had, but those contractors were hard at work. They're 2 3-story buildings, 24 apartments. Each apartment has 4 single rooms, so the maximum number of students we can accommodate is 96. But they have a very, very nice facilities, walking distance to classes. Of course, the walking trail is right there, and the tennis courts and all the facilities, and it's also walking distance from the Walmart if you don't want to drive. So everything's there that a student would want. And we have students from as nearby as from Andalusia and Red Level, and of course a wider area around. We also have some students from the Fairhope, Daphne area, some students who are in the diesel mechanics program in UP. So they're living in Andalusia at Saints Hall and commuting on a daily basis to their classes at the MacArthur campus in UP.
We just did a thing here a few weeks back about the CDL instruction classes going on at the MacArthur class, and that they started their classes back, I guess it's been about 2-3 weeks ago. And when you came in today, you were talking about the diesel mechanics, and I didn't even know that was there.
Well, it's a very good program because they learn how to work on not just trucks, but agricultural machinery, anything that involves a diesel engine. Eddie Spann is our instructor. He does an outstanding job.
I've heard of him.
And enrollment is growing. We're attracting students from a broader area. We're the only program of that kind between Montgomery and the Mobile area. So it's really broad in its reach. And you can make good money. I mean,
I was just fixing to say.
I mean,
My dad was a diesel mechanic back years ago, and we grew up in Florida, in Orlando area, and he worked at Mulberry in the phosphate mines out there on the big drag lines. And he'd work on the locomotives, and he'd work on the drag lines, and he supported 6 kids, so he done a good job.
Well, that profession is in high demand, and our students have 100% job placement rate. I mean, that's,
Wow.
it's very good, and they make good money.
I'm seeing LBW every time we talk, because there's other things like culinary I want to talk
Right.
about, but they're going really, they're filling the technical void that's out in the education in Alabama now, actually across the United States right now, in the high schools and in middle schools.
That's right.
Where they're not able to take these types of classes. I remember we had auto mechanics in school, we had auto body shop, we had agricultural, we had you name it, we had it when I was going through school. Drafting, I mean, that to me was one of the best classes I ever took in middle school. We called it junior high in Florida, but you are providing that void over there.
Oh, we are, definitely. We love working with the schools. And we have a program which we call dual enrollment, and specifically technical dual enrollment. We also have the academic dual enrollment, but in the technical fields, such as automotive, such as any of our technical areas, electronics and diesel, and all those areas, culinary arts, students who are still in high school can actually take college classes in a technical area and earn credits, get a head start on getting a career.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the nice thing is there's actually a grant that pays for the tuition and fees for these students, and to some extent the supplies that they need in those classes, which ordinarily they'd have to pay out of pocket.
Wow. Who do I see about the
Your high school counselor.
Your high school counselor?
Or the admissions office at LBW.
Wow. So there's grants out there that the parents can sit there and say, I can't afford, to send them to that technical.
The problem we've been having with the financial situation of the state, we actually used up the full allotment of those grants that LBW received, and when the money was out, it was out. And for the students, many of them are from families that just don't have the
Right.
funds that would be required. And high school students actually do not qualify for Pell grants, which is a very common source of funding for
Right.
traditional college-going students.
But they can qualify for a grant for the technical.
For the technical dual enrollment, as long as the funds last, which is the majority of our students, that is automatic. They will not have to pay for that.
Guys.
Now, that's not to be confused with the academic dual enrollment, English, math, history. Those, there's only a very limited amount of scholarship money available for those. Most of the times, those are paid by the families. Now, our tuition is still the lowest in the state. It's about half of what a university tuition costs. So, of course, a lot of families where the children are academic and want to get a head start on their university education, they can do a lot of those classes at LBW. In some cases, right at the high school. In some cases, they come over to our campus and take the exact same classes sitting next to college students. And I have taught those classes in the past, not here at LBW, but in other places. And you cannot tell as a teacher if your student is 18 or 19 years old or a 17-year-old high school student.
No.
And they're all treated exactly the same, so you get a full college experience.
I'll tell you, I remember my dad and my mom, when they'd sit there and they'd look at people and they go, they're just babies. I'm at that age now.
They get younger every year.
They do. And I sit there and I go, I had a young lady come up the other day, and I said, my goodness, she's works for the city. And I said, when did they start hiring young ladies like this? I mean, teenagers. She goes, no, I'm 25.
Do you realize that our freshman students at LBW were born in 1995? And to me, that's like yesterday.
It is. And we won't go there because I don't want to talk about how old I am, but I'm getting there. I'm hitting that age. But LBW has so much to offer out there. The culinary classes, what's his name? Chef Mike?
Michael Whalen.
Michael.
And he's been on the program.
Yes, what an awesome, we got to get him back because you got a new kitchen.
We do. We have a new kitchen. One of the things the college did over the summer is construct a kitchen on the Andalusia campus. It's in the Jeff Bishop Student Center. We were able to remodel a little bit. There were 3 offices that moved to a different part of the building, and then we gutted what was there, did a lot of construction. We contracted some of it out, some of it we did in-house, but it was a real push to get it done. But there's a 14-foot hood, exhaust hood over 2 gas ranges, and I do want to recognize Southeast Alabama Gas District because they put all the gas in for us, covered the cost of half of the new range, and a very good partner. But we have it set up as a commercial kitchen. It's been approved by the Health Department and the State Building Commission, and they're in there. They're cooking, and very soon. Now I'll tell you and your viewers a little secret. But very soon on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you'll be able to go there and buy a ticket. And whatever they're cooking that day, it's not a menu that you order up, but whatever they're cooking, and you know it's always good because Chef Whalen is a true chef. And they produce food, you know, in the instructional process.
What days is this going to be?
It's going to be Wednesdays and Thursdays at 12:15. Now, I don't think they've started yet, but in a week or a couple of weeks they will.
I want a ticket for every day.
And it's going to be $8 for fixed price. That does not include a drink, but that's a plate that has your entire meal.
Wow, I'm ready.
But you have to be there. You know, it's not a restaurant.
Oh, 12:15. No, we're live at 12.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, we won't. Well, that's cool. That you know, Chef Whalen, when he came on, they were over at the Springdale kitchen at the time. We talked about, you know, the culinary arts, because that's another thing I obviously enjoy, culinary.
Who doesn't?
Just food, period.
Sure.
But we had the young lady on, Valerie, Simone, boy,
oh, yes.
getting old, from Simone's on yesterday. And I didn't know what a confectionery was until recently. And she explained it, you know, it's just not bacon, it's candy and things like that. But she was talking about gluten and talking about diets, and in South Alabama, there's all over the country, we have a tendency to fry foods a lot. She doesn't have a fryer in there, no grease, no nothing. And I said, really? But her food is good.
Oh, it's delicious.
And you get in over there, people like that, it just surprises me. And then when I talk to Chef Whalen and about the different way they prepare food, and it's an art to it.
Well, and one of my goals when we started the culinary program was to add some diversity to the cuisine. And you know, everybody has their favorite food they grew up with, and that's fine. But sometimes you want to stretch a little bit and try something different. We have a few ethnic restaurants in the area. And there's also some general principles of food safety, sanitation, preparing people for careers in the food industry, not just restaurants, but also institutional kitchens, hospitals, hospices, nursing homes, schools.
Well, there's a lot of that here, and there's a lot of need for the culinary arts people that come out of there.
Yes.
I think he also said there's a large placement coming out of his.
And let me tell you, the students who are in that program are very enthusiastic. They love it. I
got to get over there and go interview.
You do. You need to talk to some of our students as well. Yeah,
we might do that in the next week or so. All right, we're going to talk some more, but okay, here's a new law that went into effect, I believe it was August 1st. In the state of Alabama before, you didn't have to worry about being licensed to be a beautician or a barber, okay? They really cracked down on that now. do you see the possibility of hairstyling and what do they call it, beauticians?
Well, we have a cosmetology program we have
Cosmetology.
had for years, and we also have nail tech and aesthetics, which is
Okay.
facials and that. In fact, Denise Sauls is our aesthetics instructor, and she's very involved in a program called Skills USA, which is a national program, and it takes students in all of our technical areas to statewide competitions, and then if they win there to the,
See, I didn't know
to the
this.
national level. Well, this year, for the second time ever, we have a national gold award winner in
Wow.
aesthetics.
That's awesome.
And she is going to go to Brazil and represent the United States at an international competition.
From South Alabama.
Absolutely. So
Wow.
that's another person you need to talk to, Denise Sauls and her student. I can't remember her student's name right now, but that would be, I think, a very good interview for your...
I think it would be because, like I said, the laws changed in the state of Alabama, so now you have to be licensed
Right.
and permitted.
Right.
And I believe that.
Well, now the cosmetologists were under the jurisdiction of the cosmetology board, but there's a change that now includes barbers.
Right.
Barbers previously were not, and I guess, you know, for all these years, nobody realized how much we really needed the barbers to be regulated, and we didn't have them regulated. I guess if they gave us a bad haircut, we just didn't go back. But
I ain't seen a
now-
lot of
now they
people
have
with
to be-
one ear missing. So.
Now they have to be licensed, and there are, you know, there are safety concerns as far as sterilization of
Right.
equipment and all that. But that law did pass, and
It's a good law.
we used to have a barbering program at LBW. I don't remember exactly what year it stopped, but it's at least 5 years ago. I haven't talked to the faculty or the dean to see if there's any interest in bringing that back. But with all those programs, it's a matter of we need the students. If we
Right.
knew we would have 12, 15 students every year on an ongoing basis, I just don't know there's that
The
many
funding
who want
would
to
be
take
available
that
to-
would want to take barbering.
Right. Well, folks, if you want to get into barbering and be legal and do it, contact the LBW, I guess, admin over there, and they'll,
Well, yeah, if there's enough demand, we'll definitely
see what we
look
can
at
do.
it. And,
Can't help but ask, and it won't hurt.
but cosmetology is a very popular program as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it is. And Teresa went through that years, and well, not that long ago, a few years ago. And,
And you know, it's tougher than you think because you have to learn about all kinds of chemicals and
yep.
processes. And
Yeah, and I'm not going to go there because, see, I'm going to pick on you, you're going to pick on me, and then we're going to get into a picking stage. But I'm just going to say, I've been blessed, and so have you.
I most definitely have.
I can get out of here before I get.
I've been very blessed to come to South Alabama. Come
Oh,
to
isn't this
Andalusia,
awesome?
Work at LBW, fine institution with the best colleagues. I could not wish for better colleagues to work with, very dedicated. Our faculty are university credentialed
Right.
with a small town caring attitude and really love our students, love working with them, give the personal attention. And I see that all the time. And even after students graduate, a lot of our faculty members keep in touch with them
Right.
and find out what's going on in their lives, where have they gone. I went over to Troy University last week for a meeting, and I saw one of our former students who was in our Student Government Association, so they go everywhere.
Well, well, we don't have a lot of time to do that, but the sports program is phenomenal as well.
Oh, it is.
And Coach Knight and the staff over there, he's a great coach. He's got good staffing over there. The baseball, the basketball. We're going to talk to you later on as seasons go along. Now that we're settling down here, and start covering more of the St. sports over there.
Absolutely.
Because it's vital to, you know. Here's the other thing. I'm big on Miracle League, okay? And when I saw the baseball team out there helping those kids out, it ripped my heart out. It was such a good feeling to see those young men out there in the field helping out these children that never had this opportunity before. And that Miracle League of Covington County, it's next to my heart big time. And you guys support it, you sponsor, helping it out.
But that just shows you what kind of a community this is.
Oh, yeah.
We're very
The
caring.
caliber is way out of there. It's huge. Doc, we're going to take a quick commercial
Okay,
break. We're
sure.
going to come back. We turn the air conditioner on. It seems it got warm in here. But, folks, Dr. Riedel, LBW Community College, we're going to be coming back talking about a chamber music society, the Andalusia Chamber Music Society, and an event coming up this weekend, and talk about music. And, my heart's in that as well. So, folks, thanks for tuning in. Remember, keep it real, keep God in it. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Hello and welcome back once again to WKNI TV 25. Good news, Covington County. I enjoy this guy so much. He's so real, but yet at the same time, he gets the job done, and he's got a personality, and I just keep giving him kudos after kudos, but it's real. Most active individual I have seen at LBW since I've been here. And getting out in the community and your staff and you're alive, and
Well, this is
progress.
my community. I live here. My family lives here. My boys go to public schools in Andalusia.
I met one of your boys not long ago,
Willie or Matthew?
the oldest.
Willie, 17.
Very nice,
He's a
polite.
senior at Andalusia High School.
Couldn't tell he's your son, though.
And I try to stay connected to the OP community as well. I'm a member of the OP Rotary Club. I live in Andalusia.
Group,
go to
nice
Rotary
group
and
over
OP. Spend a lot of time at the MacArthur campus, and then we have a campus in Greenville as well, and a center in Luverne. So
Well, Rotary Club, Rotary Club. Do you realize, I don't know if I ever told you this, 71, 72, Lato High School, Tampa, Florida, I was the president of the Interact Club.
is that right? Very good. Good for you.
And, I love the Rotary. I've got to join it someday.
Come visit us in OP.
I will. OP's a great community. It's growing. MacArthur, since MacArthur and LBW joined hands years ago, it's been awesome. It's been totally awesome. There's no more.
10 years.
Has it been that long?
10 years.
Wow, I remember reporting on that. So, gosh, just seems like yesterday.
Time flies.
But great programs over there. Let's talk about this event because we spent a lot of time on some other things. You got to keep coming back more often. Okay,
Well, glad to do that.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, but we went a couple of months ago to the ballet, Andalusia Ballet, in
This was
Art
in
Center.
April.
April?
We had the first ever concert of the Andalusia Chamber Music Society. And it was a huge success. You were there.
Well, I was there.
We had 50 seats, and we had a couple people who were organizers who couldn't get in the room, but they were outside the door in the hallway and heard the music and set up the refreshments.
I was right up there with you up front. It was
Yeah,
great.
it was good. It was a classical concert, harp, flute, and viola.
Now, viola is violin.
It's a little bit bigger violin.
That's right. See, I'm learning. Man, I just love the
It's
music.
in the violin family.
Well,
And a little bigger than that, you get a cello. And a little bigger than that, you get a bass.
I'm learning, folks. He's a teacher, so got to do that. Well, y'all are at it again.
We are.
This weekend.
Yes, sir. And I do need to recognize the STEP Foundation because they gave a very generous grant to this organization. And that's really what's making it possible. Of course, we have ticket sales as well. But with all classical events, the ticket sales are never enough to cover the cost
Right.
of the musicians and everything. And the city is being very generous for allowing us the use of the Springdale grounds.
Wow.
We have a backup location. In case of rain, we'll publicize the backup location. We will not cancel the concert. I don't
Right.
think it's going to rain.
We
but
ain't
it's-
got rain in the forecast
It is
for
an
that.
outdoor concert Sunday afternoon, this Sunday, 2 p.m.
After church.
After
Great
church,
time to come
get
out. It's going to be
something
cool.
eat. It's going to be a wonderful fall day, sunny.
70s is the high. Low 70s.
It's going to be very nice. And it's an hour-long concert, a brass quintet.
Wow.
Now, the brass quintet is going to have 2 trumpets, a French horn, a trombone, and a bass trombone.
You never
And
knew
now
this.
let me tell you what they're going to be playing, because that's...
I'm going to follow all over the place because this is great.
Well, I hope you get to come. Hope you and Teresa get to come.
We will. God willing.
The program, first of all, the group is called the Perdido Brass, and they are made up of professional musicians from the Pensacola Symphony Orchestra. Dale Riedel is the principal trumpeter, and he's the leader of this group. But the other trumpeter is Jonathan Martin, and then Stuart Kinney, horn, Brett Barrow, trombone, Wes Hillman, bass trombone. And what they will be playing is a number of pieces, some of which I don't know, which is good because you learn something new.
Right.
You get to hear something new. But Festivo by James Curnow, Contrapunctus 4 by Johann Sebastian Bach.
I was going to say that was a Bach.
And that is, I have heard that music, but not in this instrumentation.
Right.
And it is a fugue, which is a musical form that is like interweaving different melodies and sounds all together in a very complex way, and it all comes together.
Wow.
Just like organized, I don't want to say organized chaos, because it's not chaos, it's just organized music and extremely beautiful. Almost 250, 300 years old, so very time-proven. Then there's a Brass Menagerie by John Cheatham, and just several movements from that piece. There's also Beethoven, Ode to Joy. There's West Side Story. Leonard Bernstein, West Side Story, Maria, Tonight, and America.
Wow.
On brass, no singing, just the brass instruments. And then In a Sentimental Mood, Duke Ellington, and That's a Plenty by Lou Pollack. And that's it. So it's...
Wow.
Now with these concerts, I'm going to, if they do a good job, maybe everybody will applaud long enough to get them to do an encore.
Well, we were told at the other concert, don't applaud till after.
Normally at classical concerts, you don't applaud between movements of the same piece. If you know it's a four-movement piece, you don't normally applaud. And it's okay if you do.
Oh, I did.
You might be the only person.
I did.
But there's just certain customs, but people should just come and be relaxed. It's, just wear casual clothes. You don't have to dress up. Just
no
come
ties are
no
needed.
No ties needed, and there will be an opportunity to visit with the musicians afterwards, have some lemonade and brownies.
The harpist I got to interview when she was here at the other one, and just a pleasant personality. And they were also from Pensacola, I believe, as well.
They are. Mm-hmm.
What's neat about this is, you and I have talked about it before on this show, is that bringing culture into the community is very important, to have the different sides of it. Now, this used to happen, I don't know about Andalusia, but where I'm from, pretty much on a weekly basis in Tampa and Orlando area, where I would go to these things. I grew up on Mozart, and Bach, and Beethoven, and reel-to-reels of this, hours and hours and countless hours. I love it. I used to play the trombone in high school.
Well, see, and this would be very interesting if you've ever, played the trombone like you, or anybody who's played trumpet or horn in the band, any brass instrument, to hear professionals play it, and probably a different style of music than maybe you've been accustomed to. See what that instrument can do.
Exactly.
But you're right. It's an opportunity to enjoy music, enjoy the setting. And let me tell you, the place on the grounds where we'll set this up is by the ponds, next to the magnolia tree, and it's just inspiring to be in that environment.
It's breathtaking over there. It really is. When Mayor Earl took us on a tour over there a few years ago, Teresa and I were upstairs, and we overlooked the pond through a window, and I was just like, it's beautiful. And Springdale is a beautiful place. And,
it is.
And we're going to have the young man that's running that on here in the next week or so now.
Jared.
Yeah, wonderful young man, and very knowledgeable about the history. He talked to me for an hour out here the other day, and he is full of knowledge of the place. And he's going to take us on a tour, and we're going to take the cameras and go through. But Springdale is a huge asset to the community. I know it's politically hot potato for a while, but we've got something
I think people
sweet.
will forget the money, but they'll remember having Springdale and having that as a central feature in the city. It is a true asset for this community. And as you mentioned, last year, the city was very helpful in allowing the college to come in and use the commercial kitchen. We've outgrown it, but it was, and we use it for events, for foundation events to recognize our donors and fundraising and that kind of thing. So it's an asset that the college and the College Foundation have taken advantage of, and I know there have been a lot of weddings out there too.
Oh, there's one this past weekend, I think, out there, and it's just a comfortable place. And you don't have to have a wedding, you don't have to have something going on. You're allowed to walk the area, right. And if Jerry's there, he'll take you through the inside.
It's really a park landscape, and you can go to those grounds for reflection, just to be quiet and in a beautiful surrounding, and it's truly inspirational. I did want to mention, so your viewers know about the concert, the tickets are $15, regular $10 students, and they can be purchased at the usual businesses, which is Brooks Hardware, Harold's Discount Furniture, and Ansley Place, or at the president's office at LBW. We have
your office.
My office. And we will have tickets available on the day of the performance, but it's probably more convenient if you get it.
There's no space.
No, we'll have sufficient
Yeah,
seating.
I was going to say, we got Springdale, baby. And that's huge. I got to ask you one more time, and I know you're going to say, Eddie, you asked me this the last time. When are we going to find somebody to play the harpsichord?
The harpsichord.
Harpsichord. Yeah, harpsichord.
Well, we'll put it on the list.
I love that sound.
I do too. I've only rarely played a harpsichord. I'm not.
You?
Well, I'm not a professional musician, but just
right.
Playing a little bit for myself. It does have a beautiful sound.
It's a soothing, very, it's just beautiful. I had a friend of mine in California that played it, and he'd sit there and he'd practice and he played. And you talk about just, I'd sit in the other room and listen to him play, and I just, it was totally awesome. And this is the stuff that was back during the Middle Ages.
It's a precursor of the modern piano.
Yes.
The difference is, instead of a little hammer hitting the strings to make the sound, there's actually a little quill that plucks each string. When you push the key down, it plucks the string.
Right.
And it's a beautiful sound and very, very unique.
Well, looking forward to this weekend. I've got it on the calendar. I'm headed there for sure. Like I say, God willing, and you don't have weather to worry about. It's going to be perfect weather to have this out there. But Doc, I appreciate you coming on, and people heard me. They thought I was crazy. You got to make sure you tell these folks I was not crazy. I saw you out in your front yard on East 3 Notch with a
scythe.
Scythe.
A scythe is an old agricultural instrument with a blade. They come in different lengths.
This one was at least 10 foot long.
Well, the blade is about 28 inches that I have, but it's a traditional way of mowing, harvesting. I do it sometimes for fun and exercise. It's a rhythmic exercise, gets you out there, very ergonomic, and gets you back to nature, doing a little yard work, a little exercise on the weekends.
I've never seen anybody really use one of those. I went like that as I went by, and if I wasn't in a hurry,
you can use them for trimming, and it's about as efficient as a weed eater.
I was
without the noise
and
the fumes, and you don't have to buy gas. Just have to keep that blade sharp.
There's just plenty of energy bars. Well, Doc, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Real pleasure to be here.
Always, man, you guys are awesome at LBW, and every time I talk to people about it, and I just get excited because I say, you got to go out there, just go look, talk to people.
I appreciate it, and you're doing a great job here.
Well, thank you.
Love your show, and we'll keep having people from LBW on.
Tell them, keep on coming, because we can't get enough of y'all over here.
I think you need to talk to some of our students, too.
Absolutely. I'll get with you, and we'll talk about setting up a time coming out there. And maybe just go to the different classes. The diesel, I want to go to the diesel mechanic. I want to go to the CDL. I want to go to the, obviously, chef. He might be cooking something that day. And Eddie might get a treat, maybe, you know, line something up
I think
for him.
there's a good chance you will.
I bet that. and you know, just all these things we talked about today, and bring them here so the folks can see it. You know, television is a great media, and you can see it and you can hear it, and you get, you know, better informed with the proper management of it. Not like some national channels and stuff, but we'll not get into that. But God bless you. Thank you so much.
God
Your
bless
wife's
you.
a sweetheart too.
Yes, she is.
She really is. She just goes along with you on all these.
She certainly does.
I pulled up next to him the other day on 84 and 29. I was making a left-hand turn coming down East 3 Notch. He pulled up beside me, and I tooted the horn, and he kind of looked over, and I pulled up a little better, and he finally, you never know where I show up. But God bless you. Thanks again. We'll see you either on the road or at the school somewhere. LBW Community College, folks, one of the best assets we have in this community. You know, if you got youngins, you heard about the technical stuff that you can, you know, get the kids involved in. See the guidance counselors, see the people over at LBW and admissions. They'll work with you any way they can. They'll get you in the right direction. Great people over there. God bless you. Keep it real. Keep God in it. We'll see you at noon.